Wow, can you believe it? That was just 1 year ago today. Of course, back then, many Republicans, Democrats, all of the experts scoffed at Donald Trump when he announced his bid for the presidency. In the meantime, no, he's broken. He's rewritten all the rules for running for president. He's established all kinds of records, and he really has crushed the establishment big time. Now, well, a year later, he stands. He's a presumptive nominee. So how will Donald Trump's opponents take him on? Will the Democrats, rather, underestimate him as well? Joining me now, Cathy Taylor, Steve Rogers, Jessica Tarlov, and Lisa Boothe. Lisa, let me start with you. You know, it's been a couple of good weeks for Hillary Clinton. She's doing very well in polls, and you know, you start to get the sense that the Dems are sort of cooling up the champagne already. I think that might be a mistake. You could ask 16 Republican wannabes about that.
Or just ask Hillary Clinton, who thought she was going to get a coronation in 2008 and lost to then Senator Barack Obama. Or ask her about this election cycle, too, in the fact that she didn't think she was going to have a fight against 74-year-old socialist Bernie Sanders, who's been a backbencher in Congress for decades now, and she almost lost to him. So, you know, yeah, I think there's a real danger in someone like Hillary Clinton, who always thinks it's going to be a coronation and somehow she deserves it, to underestimate Donald Trump. And I also think, despite the headlines, there's been a lot of enthusiasm for Republicans here. There's been 1.6 million more ballots cast for Republicans than for Democrats, and Democrat turnout was actually down in 44 out of the 50 states, and it was the inverse for Republicans, where turnout was up in 45 out of 50 states.
You know, Jessica, I think that point about Bernie Sanders, that's got to echo a little bit with Hillary Clinton, because there are some similarities between some of his positions and Donald Trump's, and also the segment of the population that he reached that she could not reach. And it seems that Donald Trump could reach over and grab a lot of those voters.
He could. I mean, right now, they're both facing very high unfavorable ratings. Donald Trump, though, has now hit 70%, which is back at where he began, and he had made a lot of headway. And it's been a bad couple of weeks for him, you know, with the Judge Carroll disaster, and his response to the Orlando shooting was not taken that well by the broader American public. But I do not think that Hillary Clinton underestimates Donald Trump, and I think you can see that by the opposition book, right, that was just exposed from the DNC. And
did they leak that themselves?
I don't. Lucifer 2 is really Huma Abedin. I don't think so. Oh, I can't believe I just said that. I really didn't mean that. I think she takes him very seriously, and it's going to be a close race, and she's on top right now. But I think this could swing back and forth depending on the events. You
know what else is, though, could bog this thing down, Cathy, is you know, Donald Trump soundly beat the Republican establishment, but they're not giving up. You know, listen, every day I log on and I see some Republican governor is not going to vote for Donald Trump. You see Paul Ryan, who has endorsed him, but golly, you wouldn't believe it from the you know, almost daily critiques that he gives to Donald Trump. Donald Trump won. I mean, the message to the GOP.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
I mean, do your friends know this?
Does anybody know this? It is like the Republican Party is playing a game of hot potato. He's yours. He's yours. No, he's yours, right? They love him and they hate him at the same time. Look, you have Dick Armitage, a very, very respected policymaker. This is not some political posturing person. This is a very respected policymaker who's now come out today and said that he does not think he can vote for Donald Trump. And yet you have Hugh Hewitt, who's been very critical of Trump, saying in the Washington Post, you know what, we need to do this in order to, we need to support him. So I think we're in for a bit more of this.
But we don't have enough of those full-throated guys who came out the gate, people who knew Trump was going to win from day one, people like Lieutenant Steve Rogers.
You know, Charles,
you knew when he came down that escalator.
Hey, I was here on this show and said it was going to happen.
Win.
Charles, the point is this, to your point, Cathy, you're correct, but Main Street people don't care about these big names. These are the policymakers that got us into the trouble we're in. Donald Trump has torn down the establishment's wall. That wall was purposely built to keep
Well, he talked yesterday very frustratingly about going on his own, but how tough it is. I mean, you honestly believe he does not need any help from the embedded establishment that has something, they can't bring something to the table to help
Charles,
bolster the effort?
He will never be on his own because he has the American people behind him, and we will see him get sworn in January of the next term, 2017.
Let's hope that's true. But
I've said it before, and it happened.
So he has a very interesting partnership coming up with the RNC on the data. He's not doing this alone anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he needs the Republican Party.
Okay, bottom line.
Yeah, he does.
Although when Steve talks, I just want to put my hand over my heart, and, you know.
We the people are the Republican Party.
It's very patriotic.
That is not a country I know.
All right, guys, thanks.